Here I have two traditional knives, and I've been doing a lot of modern knife videos, so I figured that I would switch it up a bit and do some traditional stuff. This was a request quite a ways back. It was about just the terms that are associated with traditional knives. So in this video, I'm just going to cover the basics. I'm not going to try to go too in depth. If you know a lot about traditional knives, you'll know that once you get into different variations, different patterns, different variations of patterns, this could turn into a this could turn into a rabbit hole. So I'm going to go over just some of the very basic terms today, and we'll go from there. So the first thing you'll notice on a knife, or one of the first things you'll notice on a knife, is how you're going to open it. And some knives will have a slit cut into them like this, which is called a nail nick. Some knives will have a long groove cut into them like this, which is called a long pull. And there are different variants of both, but like I said, I'm going to try to keep it very basic, and I'm not going to say that again. I'll leave it there. It's going to be a pretty basic video. On either end of the knife, sometimes you'll see a shiny metal end piece. These are called bolsters. Most of the time, the knives only have it on the pivot end, which this would be the pivot end because it's where the knife pivots open and closed. But sometimes you'll have one down here, and I'll leave the differences for another video. On a regular, this is a lockback. You can tell it's a lockback by the button to depress here, or the notch to depress here. So I'm going to show you on a true slip joint traditional knife. This is called the back spring, and if you look, there is this brown part here, which is called the cover. There is and I think you can see it down here. There is a like goldish color brass portion here. That's actually called the scale. The cover covers the scale. Because this is a two-bladed knife, they decided to put a divider in the middle, so that's just a brass divider. There's another scale on this side. Again, I think you can see it best down here. Then there's another cover. The covers are held on to the scales by pins. Sometimes they're nickel silver, sometimes they're brass. These happen to be, they look brass. So the other portion here is called a shield, and these can vary in shapes and sizes and patterns and everything else. So that's another difference between modern and traditional knives. If you open the knife up, you'll notice that there is on some knives, at the edge, the end of the edge, there's a little space here. That space is considered a sharpening choil, and that's so that you can sharpen this knife from the tip all the way down to the end and not have any spots that you can't reach with your sharpener. This pointy portion here after the sharpening choil is called the kick. The kick is what keeps the knife blade up from the bottom of this handle when you close it. And this kick can be ground sometimes. Now, this is something you don't want to do unless you know what you're doing. But sometimes you'll hear people say, my blade is riding too high. And if you grind that kick will actually allow you to lower the blade. This here, where the blade is falling, let me get my pointer, where the blade is actually falling, this is considered the blade well. So the knife goes into the blade well, and I believe that's the majority of what I wanted to cover in the first video. So let's see if there's anything else. I think that's pretty much it. If you guys have any questions or anything like that, please let me know. But like I said, I want to keep it basic. I want to keep it simple, and I'll add on as I go and just try to make it very specific so that way the videos can be informative but short. So I appreciate you guys watching. I'll catch you in the next video.